So more money is slated today to hit the accounts of Americans from the newly signed economic relief bill. From Steven Mnuchin, and we corroborated this information ourselves from the individuals who watch this channel. Money started hitting the accounts of Americans on Tuesday, December 29th, also the 30th, today being the 31st. And Steven Mnuchin said it's going to happen all the way until January 2nd. If you have not seen money hit your account yet, don't worry about it. I haven't seen it either. And I also don't believe it's going to be fully done by January 2nd. I think it's going to at least take 2 or 3 weeks into January in order for that to happen. I know many people may be worried about if you moved or what account it's going to go into. It's slated to go into the same account that it did with the CARES Act. If you no longer have that account, what the government's going to do if it bounces back to them is they are going to send you a check. Yes, that may delay it a little bit, but they're going to be able to get these checks out very rapidly as well. We will continue to keep you up to date if you find yourself in that situation, or if you find yourself in the situation where you're waiting to see the money hit your account, but it's not. We will even do polls later on to find out where everyone sits, because if you can see that 50% of the people got it and 50% of the people didn't, you know that you're fine. The federal government is just late or delayed in getting these payments out. But what about this increase to $2,000 checks? We know the bill, the Cash Act, has already passed the House of Representatives, meaning they have already passed the idea that these $600 checks are going to be $2,000 checks. We already know that President Donald Trump will sign that bill if it makes it to his desk. Right now, it's sitting in the Senate. And so Mitch McConnell's been talking about it. So I want to do a little segment called Mitch McConnell Quotes from the last couple of days, because this is what he's saying about this bill. And this is going to let me be able to tell you exactly what's going to happen. So he said this: the Senate is not going to be bullied into rushing out more borrowed money into the hands of Democrats' rich friends who don't need help. I'm not exactly sure what he's talking about. Democrats' rich friends, this money is going to everyone who earns under $75,000 or $150,000 filing joint. Americans with Social Security numbers. I'm not sure that those are Democrats' rich friends. It's a weird quote to have based off of this Cash Act. He also said this bill has no realistic path to quickly pass the Senate. I don't know why, because it's supported by the President of the United States. It's supported in a bipartisan way by the House of Representatives. Polls that are coming out are showing that about 80% of Americans approve of this. You already have every Democrat in the Senate and up to 6 Republicans already voicing opinions that are positive for this. So I don't know why this can't quickly pass the Senate. What are you scared of? Are you scared of putting it on the floor because you know it is in fact going to pass? If it's going to pass, why not let it? Isn't that why you exist as a lawmaking body of Congress, to put things to the vote? And if the representatives there are willing to vote for it, it goes through. But instead of doing that, it has no quick path to getting through the Senate. Doesn't make any sense. But unfortunately for Mitch McConnell, I believe this is going to be the undoing of the Republicans in the Senate, because we have 2 massive Senate seats right now, runoffs in Georgia. And it does in fact look like, based off of some early polling, and I'm not a big polling guy because those polls are way off, they're skewed, they're handled poorly, and I think they're manipulated. But it is coming in that the Democrats are doing very well in Georgia. I'm not saying that both of them are going to win, but I believe if Mitch McConnell sticks on this path forward, where he's not going to put this standalone bill on the Senate floor for a vote and rather delay on it and or combine it with other things that Democrats don't want, and then it falls apart, I don't believe that the people in Georgia are going to be voting in mass for the Republicans. I think that there's a good chance that the Democrats are going to win, and they will then get the majority in the Senate, and likely at that point it will quickly get through the Senate. Of course, they're not going to have the supermajority 60 vote that they would need, but there are means that they can use in order to get things like this through. Mitch McConnell, this may in fact be your undoing for what? $300 billion? Now I get it. We don't want inflation. We don't want overspending. We don't want borrowing. We don't want all these other things. I get it. But people need help. I wonder how many paychecks did Mitch McConnell miss during this pandemic? How many paychecks did anybody in the Senate miss during this pandemic? How about anybody in Congress? Well, I'm here to share this with you. There are millions upon millions of Americans who missed paychecks all over the place. And yes, there's unemployment unemployment, but it's not perfect. It doesn't meet the needs of many of the Americans that lost their jobs that are never going to get them back again. Mitch McConnell added this: the Senate is not going to split apart the three issues that President Donald Trump linked together. He's talking about the $600 to $2,000 increase, repealing Section 230, which gets rid of liability protections for social media companies, and then also issuing a commission to look into voter fraud. Unfortunately, though, those aren't really the things that Donald Trump initially put together. The things he initially put together were increasing $600 to $2,000 and getting rid of the wasteful spending. Those things that you put together were done afterwards in a tweet that he issued after you got rid of the unanimous decision. So you're quoting something from Donald Trump that actually doesn't even have to do with the initial thoughts he had on it, but you're looking at the things that you believe that you could put into this bill to make sure that it in fact doesn't pass. Although I would rather you put in getting rid of the wasteful spending than repealing Section 230 and the commission to look into voter fraud. So at the end of the day, what's going to happen? Because I know a lot of you out there need to see these $2,000 checks and you're really waiting on it. Is it possible that this is going to happen? Well, while Mitch McConnell is in charge, I don't think it's possible. I think he's going to delay. And if he does put it to the Senate floor eventually, he's going to combine the increase to $2,000 with a couple of other provisions that are going to cause this thing to fail in the Senate, and it's not going to pass. But then you're going to have the election results from the Georgia Senate runoff. If the people in Georgia don't like what Mitch McConnell is doing, and I don't think they are going to like what he's going to do, you're going to have both Democrats win. If both Democrats win, it's going to be shown probably January 6th, maybe after all the votes are tabulated up. I don't know how long it's going to take them to do that. They might be a little bit more secure this time around. But after that, now you have the Democrats in charge of the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the presidency. They're going to get this through anyway, and now the Republicans are going to lose the majority of the Senate if that happens. Now, I'm not saying that's 100% going to happen. It's possible that one or both of the Republicans can win in Georgia. I just believe this is a bad move for Mitch McConnell. 80% of Americans approve of this. I approve of this because I think Americans out there need help. I also approve of it because I believe that the federal government has taken tens and tens of thousands of dollars of my money, and now is an opportunity for them to say, here, take some of your money back. I mean, you're not giving me extra money. If they send me $2,000 checks, even for my entire family, I'm not getting my money back. I've given the government way more money over the years than that. So this is an opportunity for the federal government to say, hey, during this pandemic time, we can give you all some of your tax money back in this situation. So that's not a liberal idea. That's actually a kind of a conservative idea, because the conservatives out there, if you're listening to me, you're not with the federal government taking your taxes, although I don't think a lot of people who are liberals out there are with it either. But in order to fund all the social programs, you have to do something. You're going to have to tax somebody, and taxing the rich isn't going to do it. You're going to have to tax the hundreds of millions of the vast majority of people to get that money. I'm not down with that stuff. So you're going to give me some of my money back? I'm okay with that. And more importantly, these $2,000 checks are going to go to helping the American people who need help right now. People who have missed paycheck after paycheck. People who unemployment simply isn't enough. People who need to pay their mortgages, their rent, and to feed their children during this pandemic. It's not always going to be like this, but right now it is. And if you don't like it, the American people in Georgia are going to see this, and they are going to vote the Republicans out. They're going to put 2 Democrats into those seats. You are going to lose your job, Mitch McConnell, as the majority leader there, and the Democrats are going to control it and the presidency on January 20th, at which point they're going to get it through anyway. So what did you really accomplish by doing this? It makes no sense unless you're trying to purposely sabotage things. I don't quite understand it from any perspective. Liberal, conservative, I don't get it. What you're doing, it makes no sense. So although I'm rambling on, if you're still listening to me, don't expect them to get this bill through the Senate in the next few days or week or whatever. What you're going to end up seeing is Mitch McConnell not putting this on the Senate floor. And if he does, he's going to combine it with poison pills that are going to eliminate its ability to pass. Then you're going to have to watch the results from the Georgia runoffs. Then we're going to have to wait a couple of weeks to see if the Democrats do this. Personally, I just wish that Mitch McConnell would do it the right way. I actually would rather the Senate stay personally in the hands of Republicans. Reason being, I like balance. I don't like any one party having too much control of anything, because usually that's when you start tilting off to one side or the other. America has always thrived when there's a balance of power. Balance of power between the government, businesses, Democrats, liberals, the people. When there's a balance of power, things are good. Unfortunately, when one side gets too much power, they end up instituting too many things that may seem good for their side, but ultimately don't end up being good. So I would personally rather Republicans stay in charge of the Senate to balance power out, but I would also like them to do the right thing, Mitch McConnell, and put this to the Senate floor, because it's the right thing to do at this point, unless you're scared that it's going to pass. And he's saying, well, we're going to group it together with the things that Donald Trump wanted. I hate that, because Democrats actually do that as well. Think about border security. To me, in my opinion, it's the right thing to have secure borders. If you're a country, you should be able to secure your borders. For example, if you own a home, you should be able to secure your home. If I want to put up a gate, I could put up a gate. If I want to put up a fence, I could put up a fence. If I want to lock my doors, I can lock my doors. If I want 5 deadbolts, I can do that. Why? Because it's where I live, it's my property, and it's not the property of the people who don't live here. So if I want to invite certain people in, I can. Now, as a good person who does the right things, I should be inviting people in. It makes life better. I believe as Americans, we should be inviting people in as well. Immigration is something we've thrived on. Matter of fact, we're all here because of immigration. So I agree with that. Now, America does a pretty good job at that. We do allow about 1 million people a year to immigrate to the United States of America. Perhaps we can do a lot better, and we can make the process a lot easier. But we should be able to secure our borders. However, Democrats do the same thing that Mitch McConnell's doing in this situation, where they're going to say, well, we're not going to just say that we can secure the borders with a wall or a fence. We want to have a comprehensive immigration plan, meaning we need to figure it all out before we do any of it. I don't like that either. The same way I don't like what Mitch McConnell's doing right now. Well, we're not going to just put this to the Senate floor. We're going to combine it with all these other things. The reason you're doing it is so it fails. Something that the American people need and is correct and right, you're doing that so it fails. Just like on the other end, well, we need to put everything together. You're doing that on the other end so it fails, when there is a right thing to do as well. And so I don't like it either way, on either side. It's always wrong. But unfortunately for Mitch McConnell right now, the American people get to vote, and they're watching this. So that's my thoughts. It is long and drawn out. You should be expecting to see the money in your account today, tomorrow, and to Saturday. If you don't see it in the first week, don't worry about it. I haven't seen it yet either. It's probably going to continue on into the accounts of Americans for the next few weeks going forward. If it doesn't hit your account and it bounces back to the government, they will be sending you out a check, which you'll probably see just a few weeks after that. I think they're going to get the checks out real quickly, but we will continue to keep you up to date here. So if you're looking for further information, you want to see polls on how people are doing, you want to see the comments below where people are going to let you know if they saw their money or not, so you can see where you stand. This is a good place to be, so consider subscribing. As always, I will catch you next time.